Hello, 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 beautiful people. Welcome to Space of Possibilities with Rachel, where we've been exploring snippets and possibilities of different access consciousness books, access consciousness manuals, a little snippet for every day of February. I know it's March 1st, but since I ended on day 27, because I had skipped a day where there was just no way during my explorations out there in the world, there was no way that I could go live. And so I just chose to kind of take it over by one day and kind of like pretend that it's sort of February 29th. Just to have the 28 days at least for the Snippets and Possibilities. And in the Space of Possibilities Facebook group during the month of March, what I've chosen to do is put in clearings and questions, particularly regarding receiving and when we're not willing to receive or to be. So you are welcome to join me in there. They are done in a graphic format. I love graphics. And so there is a daily question each day that's going to be popping up in the Facebook group, Space of Possibilities with Rachel. And you're invited if you'd like to join. Certainly are, always. In any case, today's snippet comes from a book called A World of Choice, A World of Freedom by Gary Douglas. And the part that we're going to be looking at, it does show. Ha, look at that. Choose that which works for you. Okay. And I'm going to read, it's a little longer of a snippet than I usually read, but I just kind of want to talk about it. It's really cool. Choose that which works for you. Gary, recently I thought it would be great to make good money doing quote unquote normal real estate. I looked at a house priced at $132,000 that was worth $165,000. For an investment of $10,000, I could buy it, rent it out, and have a cash flow of $400 a month, which would be close to $5,000 a year, and I would create $20,000 in equity. And then I thought, I would never live in a place like that. Do I want to promote people living in a place like that? No. Why wouldn't I want to live like that? Because I don't. Is living like that right or wrong? Or is it just a choice? I was going to have to hold on to it for a while so that it could go up in value. Are things going up in value in Houston? Yeah, big time. Would I have made money? You bet. My point of view was, yeah, but who cares? That's not my criterion for a great life. I did not want to be the custodian of that property because I have the point of view that if you are living someplace that is beautiful and wonderful, you have the ability to create. If you're living in a place that is not wonderful, you lose the ability to create. That was one of the choices that I made for myself. I wanted to live my life in a beautiful place with beautiful things. That has run my life to a huge degree. I want beautiful things. I want a beautiful space. I wish to create a space that invites people to greater possibility, always. For me, nothing much other than that is worth having. I realized I'd made a financial decision back in my early days that I wasn't even aware of. I thought I could do quote unquote normal real estate the way a normal person does, but I can't. And it's not just that I can't, it's that I won't. And I'll keep reading. There's just a little bit longer. I wasn't planning on it, but hey, why not? When I first started out in life, I rented a duplex that was on the edge of a farm. It was basically a pit, an ugly place, in terrible condition. I started fixing it up so I could have something that would be more fun for me. I've done that with every house I've ever lived in. I would fix it up with my own money and my own volition, even when I was just renting, because I wanted it to be good for me. I discovered that landlords don't much care what you do to their house as long as you don't make it worse. I improved every place I lived in, and my landlords loved me. Why? As I never charged them for the work that I did. I paid for what I did because I wanted it for me, and I wasn't going to ask them to do what I wanted. I was prepared to do whatever it took to get what I wanted. That's one of the criteria with which I've created financial wealth. I'm willing to do what works for me. I'm going to choose that which works for me because that gives me the freedom to choose. My choices are to stay or to go, to contribute or not. And I became aware that my choice will always create what I desire if I'm willing to choose it. Now, I love this because most people in the world, this quote unquote normal reality, if you'd like to call it that, people, first of all, look at their budget and then determine what it is that can fit within that, rather than asking for what they truly desire. So that means they're choosing from a conclusion or predetermined kind of outcome rather than an open-ended question inviting in possibilities. I love open-ended questions because they're actually not open-ended, they're open beginninged, you could say, because they point the way to more possibilities and more available to you. The more you're willing to ask, like, what else is possible here? How does it get any better than that? What do I know here? What would I like here? What would be fun for me to choose? The more of those questions that you're willing to go with, the less you settle for the status quo, the less you settle for, well, this is how things are. How much fun can you have choosing the breadth and the possibilities? My little massager just beeped. The breadth and the possibilities of what would be enjoyable for you. See, most people aren't taught to choose possibilities. They're taught to settle. They're taught to not ask for too much. They're taught that the status quo is good enough. But you know what? What if we, the seekers of the world, know that there's something else possible, that there's something else available? And when we no longer settle, when we're no longer satisfied with, just McDonald's food. Nothing against McDonald's. I mean, I've been to McDonald's. I don't eat there much. But I've been there and I could order a coffee, I could order a shake or, whatever, French fries maybe. But it's not like a place that I would choose to go to. It's not something that works for me. And this is choose what works for you. Are you honoring you in the choices that you're making? Are you actually asking for what you desire? Or do you settle for what you think you can get? And I love how Gary said he didn't even want to invest in something like that because it didn't live up to his standards. Well, this book was written quite a few years ago already. I think like probably 4, 5, 6 years ago. A World of Choice, A World of Freedom. But since that time, Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, along with his partners, are creating a phenomenal unique destination resort in Costa Rica called El Lugar. And they're they've created actually the castle, Castello de Casal Borgone, near Turin, Italy, which is phenomenal for events, for celebrations, for pretty much anything, for classes that they have there. It is out of this world, filled with antiques, fully restored, gorgeous restaurant. I haven't had the pleasure of actually being there in person yet, but it's just awe-inspiring just to see the photos. Well, you know what? That is the elegance and the beauty that he desired to live with, not to stick to anything normal. So where have you contained and compromised your desires in favor of quote unquote normalcy, rather than the choice to have and to be and to enjoy something greater and beyond what anybody else has ever told you that you could have, beyond anything that you've ever imagined you could have, beyond anything you've ever considered. This is a whole world out there beyond what you know, beyond what you've experienced so far. And I wonder what that world of possibilities that your request will tingle in, will bring in. I wonder what that will create and what that will invite other people to also. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being here during the month of February, where I was doing the Snippets and Possibilities. I had a lot of fun, lots of fun with them. Sometimes I did them in Spanish, sometimes not. Just depended. And in the last week and a half, not so much in Spanish, but that's okay. When I pick up a Spanish book, it makes it a little easier. When I pick up an English book, it's a different story. And sometimes my brain just doesn't feel like translating. If you have any questions or comments or anything, let me know. If these videos have contributed to your life, then do share them with others. That would be wonderful. And you are more than welcome in the Space of Possibilities Facebook group in case you're watching this on YouTube right now. You're welcome to join us where we're going with some questions about receiving in the month of March, as well as a Zoom in there, a Zoom, possibly two, but a Zoom for sure, where we're going to explore tools of access consciousness about receiving and about being. Thank you, and see you later, alligators.